All right, it is time to roll up the sleeves because today we are talking about how to find your style. This is a really powerful exercise and you're gonna walk away knowing exactly what your style is so that you know what you want to make your style into, whether it is that way now or maybe there's some tweaks you need to make it the style you want. And so all you're gonna need is a piece of paper and a pen. And yes, I do recommend writing this down. It is going to be so much more helpful, but you will also need some sort of computer or smartphone or whatever. And since we're gonna be getting to know each other really well, I'm Jules. I would really love if you subscribed. I do videos like this every week on fashion, style, and shopping. I just love to share about this kind of stuff. And if I can help someone else while I do it, that just means the world to me. So I'd love if you subscribed. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down the colors we like to wear. So I'm just gonna start up here in the upper left. And notice that it says like to wear, not just like. It's not an offense to your favorite color if you don't like to wear it. And it also doesn't say colors that look good on me, because you can wear whatever you want. It doesn't matter as long as you like to wear it. And this can also include colors you'd like to wear. So not just the ones that you're currently wearing, that helps you figure out your current style, but also what you want your style to be. If there's a color you want to wear more of, then include it in this list here too. But take a few minutes, don't rush through this, but think about it. What's some of your favorite sweaters or cardigans? What are those favorite colors that you really like to wear and that you gravitate towards? The next section I want you to write down is patterns and textures that you like to wear. And even if you don't like patterns, this should still be a pretty extensive list. Think really hard about the different fabrics that you like. Denim is definitely a texture. Some of the ones on my list are plaid, animal print, leather, fur. I mean, both of those are fake. These can also include those that you'd like to wear. Like for me, I've seen some really beautiful houndstooth jackets and pieces, and I don't actually have any. I have some like houndstooth scarves or plaid with houndstooth in it, but I love the look of houndstooth. So I've included it in my list here, even though I'm not currently wearing a lot of houndstooth. I still like it, and therefore it is still part of my preferences and style. So another thing I included in my patterns and textures list is hardware. Now that could mean hardware on jackets or hardware on bags, but it also to me means jewelry, because jewelry is a big part of how I structure an outfit. To me, jewelry plays a large role. It might play a bigger role for you, or it might play a smaller role, and that's just all part of finding your style. So now the next step in finding your style is knowing what's actually going to work for you. So what we're gonna do next is we're going to write down the pieces that we're wearing the most right now. Yes, we're doing this in 2020, and maybe how you've outfitted yourself and styled yourself over the past few months has been different than you normally would have. I mean, I know I started out quarantine with the best of intentions of wearing jeans every day, but did I stick to that? No. So now we're gonna just quickly jot down all the pieces we're reaching for on a daily, every other day kind of basis. That's a good starting point, but let's dive a little bit deeper. And you can dive as deep as you want in this, but I'm just gonna dive in a step deeper just because I feel like you probably did the same and you just wrote down sweaters, cardigans, jeans. What types? So if I were to look at cardigans, I've actually been preferring longer cardigans. And the necklaces I'm preferring are more like chain link necklaces and layered necklaces. Okay, so now you have a pretty good general snapshot of what you like or would like and what you're currently using. Now I want you to flip over your paper, or you can get another one, and in the upper left again, you're gonna write down the colors you don't like to wear. So for me, the first thing I immediately wrote down was red. I cannot pull off the color red. I have tried. I also wrote down just sort of lots of colors or bright colors. I don't like wearing colors, and that's okay. Maybe you do. Maybe you have a skin tone that just really pulls off color well. So the next section I want you to write down are you probably guessed it, patterns and textures you don't like. Now this one was a little bit harder for me to come up with. I had to really sort of dig around in my brain. What are some patterns that I really don't like? Because I'm kind of a pushover. I really like a lot of things. When I sort of thought about it, like I like plaid, but I don't like flannel. I like loose fitting, kind of soft sweatery things, but I don't like when they're too thick. I don't like when tees and tops are too sheer. I don't like when lace or mesh is like too big or too chunky. Doing the stuff we did earlier might help flesh out some of the things you actively don't like. If there are certain qualities of certain pieces that you're just not really all about, then go ahead and put them here. Okay, now let's flip over back to the side of things we like. We're gonna kind of look at things and we're gonna start to group them. We're not done listing things out, but I just wanna do like a preliminary grouping. We're gonna start with the colors that you like or would like to wear. This one, I want you to look at the colors and sort of come up with a few general terms that come to mind if you were to group these in any kind of way. So for me, a lot of the colors I wrote down were definitely neutrals. You know, I had the whites, creams, beiges, blacks, browns, grays, but I also had some earth tones, some fall tones in the rust, the olive, the maroon. And then I want you to flip it over to the back and look at the colors that you don't like to wear and try to group those two. Mine are pretty easy. I don't like colorful. So now what naming those color groups is gonna do is it's going to make it a lot easier for you to see the colors that you're talking about. So instead of looking through all like 11 of these colors, I just have to look at neutrals, earth tones, fall, muted colors. So now this next step is either going to take you a very little amount of time or a lot of time, but it's really where we're gonna flesh out what that style is. And it is really helpful if you have a Pinterest with like a fashion board or a style board, or maybe you do your own version of Pinterest where you take screenshots of things you like. But essentially what you're looking for is to find a collection of images that you like and to have them all in one place. So now I'm calling this section, what do I like about these pics? And so it actually took me a long time to flesh it out. I know the video kind of speeds things up, but I wrote down clean lines. There's a slight slouch and yet there's like shape. There's some structure. It's not too rigid. It's a little bit effortless. Lots of words were coming to my mind. And it's okay if it's not easy to explain. Just write all those words down. Just vomit it all over the paper. I have simple, it's elegant but relatable, neutrals, monochromatic neutrals, tonal, lighter but with contrast, subtle interest. Just get it all down. Get it all down on the paper and we will sort through it here in a second. And so now we're gonna flip over our paper and we're gonna write down what we don't like about some outfits. Now, I doubt you have like an inspirational board of things you don't like, but this is just kind of a nice tip in general that when you see something you don't like, well, one, instead of commenting on that person's picture, wow, that looks really ugly, keep that opinion to yourself. And two, make a mental note of why you don't like it. Is it the color that you don't like? Is it the shape you don't like? Is it that it's too frilly? For your own mental note, so that if you don't like it, you obviously don't want it to be your own style, knowing what you don't like about things. But maybe there are some things on your inspirational board where you're like, I like that part of the outfit, but I don't like that part. Go to the part you didn't like and kind of flesh out why you didn't. So for example, a few things I wrote down are like unrealistically tight, true cowboy boots, like I'm fine with Western-ish boots, or anything overwhelming, whether that's color, overwhelmingly baggy, overwhelmingly attention grabbing. I'm just not an overwhelming person in general. So my style just doesn't reflect that. That's not my personality. So now we're gonna flip back over to the front. Now that we've really thought about and put into words what you like and don't like, the last step I want you to do, and I've run out of room on my page, so I'm just gonna make like a box. So I just wrote interior design likes and I kept the space pretty small. At this point, I know what I like. I'm starting to really kind of formulate some opinions, but I also want to look at how I like to style my house or how I would like to style my house. Again, you know, if your house doesn't look the way you want it to, what are some things you really like in other people's style or other images you've seen. So what I want you to do next is look through this list. Look on the front page full of things that you love and that would be considered part of your style and preference. And try to circle some things that stand out because you're seeing them over and over again. So for me, the first thing I'm gravitating towards is neutrals. I've listed it in more than one place. There are a lot of things that are neutrals like snakeskin and leopard. Those colors in themselves as patterns are neutrals. Another one that immediately stuck out to me was balance. In the section where I talked about things I liked in pictures, I definitely saw that I liked clean lines, but not too clean. I like light and airy, but I also like some dark. So I really like things to be balanced out. I like minimal, but not stark. Another one that I noticed for myself was relatable. I said elegant, but relatable, modern yet lived in. And also looking at the pieces I wear the most, it's a lot of really casual pieces. It's sweaters, it's t-shirts, it's jeans. Those are all really relatable pieces. The more you can boil this down and name it and give your style a name, the better you're going to understand your style and continue that style throughout the years. Like, I need to say that again because it is so powerful. If you can name your style, then you will have better style. So it took me a while, but I boiled it down to kind of my 4 main tenets. The first one is balance of neutrals. Second is some subtle interest. Third, I wrote down effortlessly classic, and then also below it wrote down casually classic. I'm not sure which one I'll go with on that one. And then fourth, I just said clean, simple colors and lines. So those are sort of how I'm encapsulating my own style, and it's gonna be so helpful now going forward to know what I like and don't like. I am someone, I can appreciate so many styles that it can be a little confusing what my own style is. So if you have a similar style to me, or if you really like this video, I would love if you subscribed. I do videos just like this every week on fashion, style, and shopping. Please like this video if it was helpful to you in some way, and leave me a comment down below letting me know what your style turned out to be. I'm really curious to hear if you learned anything. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.